Sometimes it came as a sound sharp, mechanical, and terrifyingly fast. Soldiers who heard it never forgot it. It was not the sound of ordinary gunfire. It was a ripping, tearing noise, like metal keys striking paper at impossible speed. Those who faced it gave it a name filled with fear and respect. The devilish typewriter. The weapon behind that name was the MG-42, a machine gun so fast and brutal that it could decide the fate of men before they understood what was happening. Its rate of fire was almost beyond belief, spraying bullets in a continuous stream that blurred into one single roar. On one battlefield, that sound turned 8 seconds into a lifetime of horror and ended 8 lives just as quickly. The day began with an uneasy calm. Smoke drifted low across broken ground, mixing with the smell of damp earth and burned metal. The battlefield was scarred with craters and shattered trees, silent except for distant artillery rumbling like thunder far away. A group of German infantry moved forward carefully, boots sinking into the mud, rifles held tight. They had been told the enemy position ahead was weak, possibly already abandoned. No shots coming, no movement revealed itself. To them, it felt like a cautious but manageable advance. What they did not know was that silence was being carefully maintained. Hidden among rubble and earth, an Allied machine gun crew lay motionless, watching every step. Their weapon was positioned perfectly, covering the open ground the Germans were now crossing. The gunner waited, finger resting lightly on the trigger, heart pounding but mind steady. He understood one simple truth of war. Whoever fires first often lives. As the German soldiers stepped fully into the open, the moment arrived. The trigger was pulled, and the world shattered. The sound exploded outward in a violent, unbroken burst. It was not a series of shots, but a single, furious scream of metal. Bullets tore through the air faster than thought itself. The first soldier collapsed instantly, struck before his brain could even recognize danger. The second was hit mid-step. The third began to turn, instinct taking over. But instinct was useless against that speed. There was no time to run, no time to shout, no time to fight back. In 8 seconds, the machine gun emptied death into the open ground. Bodies fell one after another, uniforms ripped apart, weapons dropping uselessly into the mud. By the time the firing stopped, 8 German soldiers lay motionless, their advance erased as if it had never existed. 8 seconds. For those watching from cover, it did not feel like a battle. It felt like an execution carried out by sound alone. Survivors nearby froze, unable to process what they had just witnessed. One moment there had been movement, breath, life. The next, only stillness. This was why soldiers feared the Devil's Typewriter. The MG-42 was designed to dominate battlefields, and it succeeded too well. Its terrifying rhythm shattered morale as effectively as it shattered bodies. Men who heard it learned to dive for cover instantly, sometimes even when no bullets followed. The sound itself became a weapon, planting panic deep into the mind. Veterans later said that once it started firing, there was no thinking, only survival, if survival was even possible. Yet war is filled with cruel ironies. A weapon built to protect one side often became a symbol of terror for everyone. The machine gun did not care about uniforms, language, or loyalty. It responded only to pressure on a trigger. On that day, it showed how quickly trained soldiers could be reduced to silence. Those 8 men were not just figures on a report. They were individuals who had survived other days, other battles. Some had likely written letters home, promising they would return. Some may have joked with each other only minutes earlier. None of that mattered in those final seconds. War stripped away identity and replaced it with targets. When the firing ended, the battlefield returned to silence, but it was a heavier silence than before. The ground absorbed blood. Smoke drifted again. Orders were whispered. The war moved forward without pause. There was no time to mourn, no time to reflect. There never was. Long after the war ended, the sound of the Devil's Typewriter stayed with those who survived it. Veterans spoke of it quietly. Years later, their eyes distant. A sudden noise, a door slamming, machinery clanking could pull them back instantly to moments like those 8 seconds. Many said the battlefield never truly left their minds. It simply went quiet and waited. History often measures World War II in massive numbers, millions dead, continents reshaped, nations destroyed and rebuilt. But the true face of war is sometimes found in moments so brief they barely register on the timeline. 8 seconds. 8 lives. 8 families changed forever. No heroism. No final words. Just a sound tearing through the air and writing death into history. That is why they feared it. That is why they called it the Devil's Typewriter.